Hey, so I'm back. Woo! Again, just doing this series back to back. So again, we're staying on the theme of the Antichrist. So we read out of the Revelation of Elijah. Now I want to do the Ascension of Isaiah. I highly recommend you read the whole thing for yourself, but for the purpose of this, we're going to be reading. The reading will come out of the Ascension of Isaiah chapter 4. So let's just get in because I don't want to run out of time. So again, this is the Ascension of Isaiah chapter 4, and the topic is the Antichrist. Okay, so chapter 4. And now Hezekiah and my son Joseph, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. These are the days of the completion of the world. So he's about to talk about the days of the end of the world. Verse 2. After it is consummated, the great ruler Belial, this is Satan, the king of this world, will descend, who has ruled it since it came into being. Yes, he will descend from his expanse in the likeness of a man, a lawless king, the slayer of his mother, who himself is even this king. Verse 3. He will persecute the plant which the 12 apostles of the beloved have planted. Of the 12, one will be delivered into his hands. This ruler in the form of that king will come, and there will come with him all the powers of this world, and they will listen to him in all that he desires. In verse 5. And at his word, okay, listen, remember we talked about this in the Revelation of Elijah. This is confirming his powers. And at his word, the sun will rise at night, and he will make the moon to appear at the 6th hour. So he'll be able to do this stuff. Verse 6. And all that he has desired, he will do in the world. He will do and speak like the beloved, and he will say, I am God, and before me there has been none. So the Antichrist will do this. This is saying he's going to speak like God, he's going to speak like Christ, and he's going to declare himself God and say, before me like there was none. Verse 7, and all the people in the world will believe in him, and they will sacrifice to him, and they will serve him, saying, this is God, and besides him there is no other. That's scary. 9, and the greater number of those who will have been associated together in order to receive the beloved, he will turn aside after him. Oh, do you know what that's saying? It's saying, and there's a lot of people who were set aside to receive the Christ. They're going to turn and go after the Antichrist. Okay, verse 10. And there will be the power of his miracles in every city and region. And he will set up his image before him in every city. 12. And he will bear sway 3 years and 7 months and 27 days. And now this is it. Look. And many believers, we're not even talking about atheists. Listen to this. And many believers and saints will have seen him for who they were hoping, who was crucified, the Lord Yahusha HaMashiach, or Jesus Christ. And then it says, and those also who were believers in him. Of these, few in those days will be left as his servants, while they flee from desert to desert, awaiting the coming of the beloved. So to me, what this means is there's going to be some that are believers, but they're going to go after the Antichrist. And there's going to be few who are still waiting on the real Christ, and they're going to be fleeing, right, from desert to desert. So let me go. Sorry, I do this. I look up and then I lose my place. Okay, so, okay. And after 1,332 days, the Lord will come with his messengers. This is the Christ, and with the armies of the holy ones from the 7th heaven. So we see, where is he coming from? He's coming from the 7th heaven with the glory of the 7th heaven, and he will drag Belial into Gehenna and all his armies. I'm mentioning that I did that because this is pause. If you read Enoch, it talks about the formation of the world. Y'all are gonna think, here we go. I know y'all believe in the spinning globe, right? But I'm just encouraging you to read Enoch and then read other books where it talks about the different heavens, right? The different levels of heaven, and then the earth, which is firm in its place. It says that many times in the scriptures. It says the earth, God made earth firm in its place, right? There's a firmament. The earth is standing full in its place. It's shale. It's a whole thing. So I'm just saying, I actually do kind of maybe want to do something on that. But I'm saying that to say, again, we have to choose, who do we believe? The world's narrative. The world's narrative is leading folks to the Antichrist. So we have to choose, who are we going to believe? The world's narrative or what the scriptures say? It comes down to a choice. So I just wanted to say that this is talking about Christ is going to come from the seventh heaven. But a lot of us, we don't even believe in stuff like the seventh heaven. We don't believe that because that's not taught, right? That's not taught. It's not the worldview. So my point is, the deceptions is leading to this Antichrist. Again, I've been saying this throughout the whole series of these videos. We want to gird our minds with the truth of the scriptures so that we are not deceived. And so we have to start to get used to coming out of the world and the ideas that the world tells us. Went off on a tangent, but the point is, the Christ is coming from the seventh heaven. It says that. So the seventh heaven, he will drag Belial into Gehenna and all his armies. This is 15. And he, the Christ, will give rest to the godly, whom he will find in the body in this world. And it says, and the son will be ashamed. 16. And to all those who, because of their faith in him, have execrated Belial and his kings, So again, government, it says Satan will be with the kings and his kings, but the saints will come with the Lord with their garments, which are now stored up on the high in the seventh heaven. So there are garments stored for the saints in the seventh heaven. They will come with the Lord, whose spirits are clothed. They will descend and be present in the world, and he will strengthen those who have been found in the body, together with the saints, in the garments of the saints. And the Lord will minister to those who have kept watch in this world. 17. And afterward they will turn themselves upward to their garments, and their body will be left in the world. 18. Then the voice of the beloved will in wrath rebuke the things of heaven, the things of the earth, and the mountains and the hills and the cities and the deserts and the forests and the messengers of the sun and that of the moon, and all the things wherein Belial manifested himself and acted openly in this world. And there will be, it says, a resurrection and a judgment in their midst in those days. And the beloved will cause fire. So this is the Christ. He will cause fire to go forth from him, and it will consume all the godless, and they will be as though they had not been created. Oof. So pause. I just want to say that this is kind of springing off of the revelation of Elijah, right? If you go back and watch that, or if you read it on your own, it's kind of saying the same thing. A lot of these books, it's pieces of a puzzle, right? I just want to say this. It's pieces of a puzzle that tell the greater story. And again, they took a lot of these books out. So I just want to say, for the Antichrist, we know that we have the book of Revelation, we have the book of Daniel, but you also have the revelation of Elijah. You also have the Ascension of Isaiah. There's others, but this is what I'm kind of reading out of. And I just wanted to stop and share with you guys. All of these books have pieces to a puzzle that tell the greater story. So in our studies, we want to make sure we're reading all of it so that we can get a greater account. So this is just a greater account confirming that Christ will, this actually says, in the other, it said that he will come with fire, destroying a lot of things, but this is kind of telling us why. It says that he will rebuke. He says he's going to rebuke a lot of the mountains and the hills and the cities and the desert. Why? Because these beings and entities and things, it allowed the Antichrist to perform its miracles through them. So when Christ comes, he's going to judge and rebuke these things. He's rebuking mountains, he's rebuking cities, he's rebuking deserts, he's rebuking anything that allowed the Antichrist to show its power through. That's really what it's saying. Okay, so verse 19. And the rest of the word, okay, so this is going on. And the rest of the words of the vision is written in the vision of Babylon. Told you they took out books. told you. Verse 20. And the rest of the vision regarding the Lord, behold, it is written in 3 parables according to my words, which are written in the scroll, which I publicly prophesy. And the descent of the beloved into Sheol, behold, it is written in the section where the Lord says, behold, my son will understand. And all these things, behold, they are written in parables or Psalms of David, the son of Jesse, and in the Proverbs of his son Solomon, and in the words of Korah and Ethan the Israelite, and in the words of Asaph, and also in the rest of the Psalms which the messenger of the Spirit inspired, and namely, and in those which do not have the name written, and in the words of my father. So it just goes on. But you can take from that. So you can take from that. Remember how we talked about not everything is the 66, right? So it's completed. Not everything is the 66 books. This is talking about, what did it name? It named the words of Korah. It named a book, Ethan the Israelite, right? These are all books that are not in. It also talked about the vision of Babylon. I don't know if that's a separate book. I'm not sure. But the point is, we know that things were removed, but by Yah's grace, we're getting some of these things back as prophesied in the end time so that we can have a greater understanding. So I just kind of wanted to share that. I'm going to quickly read chapter 5 a little bit. And it says, on account of these visions, so all these visions, therefore Belial, or Satan, was angry with Isaiah, and he dwelt or lived in the heart of Manasseh, and he sawed him apart with a wooden saw. So I just wanted to read here. We're learning why Isaiah was murdered, right? We're learning why Isaiah was murdered. We know that Isaiah the prophet was murdered by being sawed in half, but here we see why. What triggered the murder? It's because Satan rose up in Manasseh, but why? It's because Isaiah had this powerful vision, future vision of Satan's reign on earth, and he was giving this information, and this was enough to trigger Satan to dwell in Manasseh, to act out the killing of the prophet Isaiah. So that was something that I learned when I read this. You know, in other texts, we just see that he was killed, but we don't see, the specifics of why. So this is why, if you read the Ascension of Isaiah. So that's it for now. I think I might run out of time. That's it. The next one I think I'll do, we'll just talk about the mark. And then I think we'll close it out. But again, I'm plugging these books. I pray that you will read this for yourself. I pray that you will take these signs into consideration. I pray that we will continue to learn the truth so that we can be guarded from the deceptions in the future. Okay, that's it for now. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.